Start now.
Oh, you had it delivered? So bougie.
I've saved it
Welcome back to the Nub. This is the Merce,
Hey, it's me, Colton.
and we are back on it again. So, Dorian.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man. So, uh, well, first off, let me say that Dorian caused a lot of havoc for our trip to Dragon Con.
Uh
I
huh.
know that you had a personal issue come up as well that kept you from able to go to Dragon Con.
Yes.
But while we're there, we were there with your brother-in-law, and he ended up coming back early because he was so concerned about Dorian.
Yes.
And it just, I mean, it kind of loomed over the whole trip. To be quite honest,
Yeah.
it was like it was sitting there in the back of our minds, like, oh, should we leave? Should we not leave? Should we hang out? Should we not hang out? It kind of, I mean, it really did like affect the trip a lot.
Well,
So
it was horrifying. I mean, at one point, it was like, 180-mile-an-hour sustained winds. I mean,
yeah,
that was just kind of like,
yeah, exactly. There was a real chance it could actually come and do some serious damage. So
and it did
it
serious
was
damage. Jesus.
oh yeah, to the Bahamas. Oh my god.
They, that
That's
that's just terrible. They got ripped to shreds, man.
yeah, they did. That's sad. Very, very sad. Luckily, I think the final count was only 5 people that passed away, if I'm not
Um,
mistaken.
I think there were like 20 people in the Bahamas.
Oh
I
really?
think.
Oh, I
I'm
thought it was
not.
only 5.
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
positive, but
but I can only imagine how many are homeless now or like have, a lot of messed up property and stuff.
I mean, if you saw the pictures, it just looks like complete devastation on a lot of the coastal areas.
Yeah.
But that's just
So I guess the good news about Dorian is I know that I myself was able to get some serious Netflix time in, some serious binge watching time. Um, and on Amazon Prime, me and Foxtail binged the hell out of Carnival Row.
oh yeah,
That show, oh my god! I first of all, let me just say that the main female lead, I cannot remember the name her
Clara
name for the life of me. Right,
Devangeline.
sounds about right. When she was in Valerian, she was so flat and just took away from the movie and made it, like, in my opinion, it made a movie that could have been at least decent really, really bad. So when I found out that she was the lead in this show, I was like, oh no, this is gonna be terrible. But after watching the show, I gotta say, that must have been some kind of choice that her and the director made for Valerian, for her to be so like cold and like just like numb and not really emotionally emoting. That must have just been the character choice that they made for that character. Because in Carnival Row, totally different story. I was blown away by her performance. Everybody in this show was fantastic, but she especially, like, she got me. Like, I could feel her emotions, her rage, her sadness, all that stuff.
Well, I think especially like her as an actor, I didn't particularly like her at first. Again,
Hmm.
I didn't even see Valerian. The previews just kind of looked bad. I don't remember what other movie I had seen with her in it, but I didn't particularly care for her. And then this show, man, I'm like, she's one of my favorite actresses now. Like that.
Right? And can we just take a moment to applaud Orlando Bloom for his like portrayal of just the anger and the frustration and the emotions of everything he went through in that show. Like, I don't want to give anything away.
Oh yeah, of
I
course.
mean, it's still very new. I don't want to do any spoilers, but he gets wrecked in this movie, as far, or in the show, as far as like his personal life is concerned. And it's just, I mean, you can see it on his face. He telegraphs it in every scene.
And I love his character. Like I love, you know, I just everything about him. He's just a real determined guy doing a job, and I
Hmm.
just feel like he was really relatable. Even
Oh yeah.
like to bridge the gap of the sexes. Cara
Hmm.
Devangeline, she was very relatable. And I
Hmm.
feel like I really, and I told you this was it yesterday, I was not
Hmm.
emotionally prepared for this show. Like, ooh, fantasy show, this is gonna be great. And then, I'm doing my thing at work and riding out the storm where I'm at, and I'm bawling my
Hmm.
eyes out in the hotel room watching Carnival Row by myself. I'm like, this is just, oh my god.
It was absolutely phenomenal, and you're right. I was not expecting to be touched by a show like this as much as I was.
Wasn't
Like it was, and,
expecting to be touched by Orlando Bloom.
I mean, I was hoping, by all means, I was hoping, but
Hold on.
I mean,
There's
it was just it.
my.
What's that?
I said, give me 1 second. My delivery just got here.
All right, we're back. We had to pause for a minute so that Felton could get his food delivered, like the bougie mini emperor that he is.
I'm
He
lazy.
gets his groceries. He gets his groceries delivered because it is. He lives in the future. The rest
Yeah.
of us have to go to the store like peasants.
Hello, people of the past. I love your quaint ways.
All right, so we were talking about Carnival Row.
Yep.
Um, yeah, everybody in this was fantastic. I loved the. I like. What is it called? Is it modern fantasy or something like that, or
It's kind of like urban fantasy is the
urban?
name
Yeah,
of it.
urban
Yeah.
fantasy. Yeah. So not to be outdone, of course, Netflix dropped their Dark Crystal series, and let me just say, it is absolutely gorgeous. A lot more high fantasy. Um, its own little fantasy arcs, its own little fantasy story with its own fantasy elements and everything like that. Beautifully done though, like the cinematography, the puppets, the scenery. Like there's a lot of mixture of the CGI and then of course the practical effects. Beautiful, but I don't know, man. I'm having a little difficulty like really getting into the story. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
For me, it is. Yeah, I mean, I loved Carnival Row. It hooked me from the beginning. I watched we binged it, and it's each episode is an hour and a half of that show, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
They're
not.
like mini. It's 8 mini movies.
Oh yeah,
You
I mean,
know.
you got to think of the production quality to be able to produce that consistently. Now, I read reviews about it that I did
Hmm.
not. I don't understand because some of the reviews I read was like, "Oh, it just keeps going on, and it's so boring and blah." Blah.
Oh my
I
goodness,
I
see, I didn't
can't
feel that way at
I
all.
can't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. Like, holy
It
cow!
seemed like it seemed like every episode I was hooked in. Like you know what it is? It's probably some of those people that just can't stand like good conversation sometimes. Like I remember some of those same issues that people had with Game of Thrones originally. Because some Game of Thrones episodes you wouldn't have much of anything going on. You just have these like deep conversations sometimes, and like the intrigue and stuff, but not a whole lot of actual action. And people would get on the show about that. I I felt like this show was phenomenal. I never felt bored. I love the whole like Pride and Prejudice kind of thing with the Puck and the I guess the higher culture girl. I
The
don't know how
rich
you would say
the
that, but
rich girl.
the the rich girl. Yeah, thank you. Like I love their whole story. I love the little side stories. The issues with the street performer and his little kobolds. Like what happens with that. Like I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
I
I've got
just
nothing bad to say about that show.
I can't wait till they do season two, and I think it's up in the air. Like I said before, I don't know. Will they continue with this, or will they start new stories with new characters? I mean, it's
I think either I think either way would be interesting.
and
They can go either way with that.
is this going to be the next Game of Thrones? Is my next question, because this has the potential with the quality of this show to be absolutely huge.
Absolutely, and it's phenomenal. If you haven't watched the show yet, if you haven't watched Carnival Row yet, you need to watch it. And that goes along with they did The Boys as well,
Oh
and
yeah,
on Amazon. Like Amazon's really like throwing their hat in the ring now to perform against your Netflix shows,
oh
and
Netflix,
I
HBO,
couldn't
yeah.
be happier.
Oh
I
God,
could not be happier.
when production
Speaking of the
studios compete, you win.
oh, exactly. Speaking of the boys, we saw the panel for the boys at Dragon Con, right?
Yep.
And it was Carl.
Urban.
Oh, I can't. Urban. Thank you. And the the other guy's name is like they call him Jack, but it's something different from Jack. Anyways, so it was hilarious when I was at the panel though, because they started to tell a story. Because somebody asked a question like, how do you guys get along in real life as far as the Carl who plays Billy Butcher and the other guy who plays the main character, right?
Yeah.
Um, and they were talking about how the first day they went out for drinks, right? And they were going to be meeting the rest of the crew a little bit later. It was just the two of them meeting up for drinks. Well, I guess Carl had gone out earlier that day and ordered like a cake from like Publix or something like that, like the full shebang, like a giant sheet cake, that said "Happy Birthday" to the other character, and he had it delivered while they're at the bar. So they bring the cake in. The rest of the production company's there. The cake comes in, and he starts singing "Happy Birthday" to him. So the whole production company starts singing "Happy Birthday," thinking it's the actor's birthday, and it wasn't. And afterwards, Carl's like, "You got caked." That was like his thing. So they started this thing now where they cake each other, like they go back and forth with caking each other. So while we're at the con, um, Foxtail was in line to get her picture taken with Alana Pirelli from Once Upon a Time, right?
Yeah.
And the two guys from the boys were at their own little booth. It's in that little what are they? The Walk of Fame, where you can go and meet the stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I guess Carl had ordered a cake and had the cake brought in and had everybody in there singing "Happy Birthday" to the other actor again. And he's like, "You got caked, mate. You got caked." So it was bloody diabolical. So just
That's
the kind of stuff just the kind of stuff that happens at Dragon Con. Like it just doesn't happen at other cons like that. It was great.
that's gonna be one of the best pranks I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I'm gonna start caking people myself. Like I'm
Cause
just
it's kind of wholesome.
and I'm gonna yeah. Exactly. It's not like he ordered like strippers or like had his pet dog killed or something like that. It's like you just got him a cake. And had people sing "Happy Birthday" to him. So
Oh, that's
are you still there?
incredible. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I had to turn away.
They died out for the
No, I had to turn away from the mic for a second. I was trying to recover
about to
myself
die.
from laughing.
So yeah, there's two decent shows. Like I'm still gonna continue watching The Dark Crystal. It's just it's hard to keep into it because the story I don't find as compelling as say Carnival Row.
Well, let
So,
me tell you
but
something that might spark your interest, and this might redeem the show for you completely. Okay,
okay.
so Mark Hamill does the voice of one of the Skeksis.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
Which one does he do the voice for?
he does the voice for the one that you remember in the opening scene where the head one's yelling at this other guy about how he's gonna figure out how you know how to solve the Dark Crystal issue.
Yeah, the scientist.
Yeah,
He's not the
Mark
scientist.
Hamill is the scientist one.
Oh, okay.
And if you look closely, he has his eyepiece is like
Hmm.
an original production die cast metal, like the core body of a TIE fighter.
Oh, see now I gotta look closely. See now you got me all
See, there
like
you go.
now I got.
Now you know it's Mark Hamill, and I could tell from the set because I originally I didn't know Mark Hamill was in it, and then I heard
Hmm.
him talk, and he kind of almost does like a spin on his a Joker voice. It almost
Hmm.
kind of sounds like the Joker, and I thought, oh, I didn't know Mark Hamill was in this, and then I got confirmation when I saw it, like on somebody shared it on. I'm not that observant, obviously. Somebody shared it on Facebook, like, "Oh, it's a great Easter egg! Look, Mark Hamill has a Tie Fighter on his Birdman."
Skeksis. Yeah. Hey, he's actually working a lot lately. They're doing they're doing a Crisis with the WV shows like Flash and Arrow and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be playing he's going to be playing the Joker from an alternate universe. And with that, they're also having the voice actor for Batman play a Batman in one of the alternate universes.
Oh, that's
So,
friggin' awesome!
right, we're finally going to see Mark Hamill as the Joker. Of course, he's gonna be an older Joker. It makes me wonder if the two of them are going to be doing like the Batman Beyond universe, right? So you get the
Oh.
older grizzled Batman, behind the computer, and then he's gonna have Terry McGinnis running around as the younger Batman,
Now, are you
and
talking
then you
about the
got
guy
the
from Wings?
what guy from Wings?
The guy from Wings that did the voice of Batman.
I don't know. Whoever the guy is that does the voice for all the Batman cartoons, that's who's gonna. I can't remember his name. It's like Conway or something like that. He's gonna be doing Batman,
Yeah,
like a
James
live action Batman.
James Daly. Oh, wait, never mind.
No,
No, he did. He did Superman in the animated series. Never mind.
I was like, well,
That
that's definitely
old, that
not.
old Mandela, that old Mandela got me.
Yep, damn Mandela effect. Let me see if I can find him actually. It's Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy. That's the one that does like the Batman animated series and like all the Batman cartoons. Since then, he's gonna actually be playing Batman. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
They actually
Yeah.
get their chance in the spotlight like that.
Mhm.
Um, so anything going on in the video game world?
So, um, I don't know if you realize, but the game Control just dropped and
Game
has,
Control.
yeah, it's control. It's called Control.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, are you familiar with the SCP archives?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it kind of exists in a similar world to.
Well, let's go ahead and explain to people that don't know what that is.
Oh,
It
yeah. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say it's on Reddit and then they read them on YouTube, right? Is that the case,
Well,
or is it just
there's an actual website. SCP
oh, it's its
stands
own
for,
website too? Okay.
yeah, Secure, Contain, Protect, and it's its own wiki where people. The
Yeah.
format is people submit articles, and they say, okay, we're opening up, SCP designations 3,000 through 4,000, and everybody puts in their submissions for SCP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And they go
Hmm.
through and it gets voted on, and the community actually chooses, which are the best stories, and it's this really neat community-driven project. And I've got to say, there's probably upwards to 4 or 5 thousand entries now, so it's a
Yeah.
massive database of stories that people have written, all reflecting this same universe of this, shadowy organization called the, Secure, Contain, Protect, is their motto.
And I love those stories. Like I listen to them on YouTube when I'm like washing dishes or like mowing the lawn, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the
It's
Vulcan and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, it's all included in my creepy pastas and other stories like that. I just kind of like cycle through all that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely love them. So they made a game based on that. That's
Yeah,
what you're
they did
saying.
the game. Well, okay, so they do have an actual SCP game, right? What I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
is that this game Control is, I feel, heavily influenced by the SCP universe. So the organization in this is called the Federal Bureau of Control, and it almost kind of is like a Warehouse 13, SCP type of place where they find anomalous objects, objects of power, supernatural objects, supernatural entities, and try and contain it in their giant amorphous ever-changing building, which is a maze. So you play a character who, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but you play a character who obviously has like telekinetic abilities that you can launch objects and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. And it's all based off of, and I didn't know this, and I found this out after I started playing it, that it was the team that did Max Payne. Sam Lake is the writer, and they actually got
Okay.
James Caffrey, the voice of Max Payne, to voice one of the head characters in the game. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
oh,
I
it's
love
just it's
I love
amazing.
the OG Max Payne games. Yeah,
Oh yeah, and the
that's
story,
awesome.
I mean the gameplay, everything about this game just is amazing, old school. Amazing visuals. I mean it looks gorgeous. And the main actor that they cast, the female lead, just her commentary, you get to hear her thoughts and narration. This lady is absolutely wonderful. I mean, what an actress. I mean, she had to have recorded, hundreds of hours of conversation and audio to do this game. So, I mean, her performance alone, I feel like, is a great, a great positive for the game. So I am highly recommended if you like Max Payne style games to pick up Control.
which I love the original Max Payne. I thought it was great. Well, that sounds pretty fantastic, actually. Speaking of video games, I beat the Spider-Man game that I was talking about previously,
Mm-hmm.
and it was absolutely wonderful. And I cannot wait for them to do a sequel to it because they did such a fantastic job. I did not realize that they actually got one of the great Spider-Man writers, or newer great Spider-Man writers, in my opinion, Dan Slott, the guy who wrote like the whole Superior Spider-Man arc and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the writers on the game, and it shows because the game is just so fantastically well written. And I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful game. I had a lot of fun with that. I cannot wait for the sequel to that one.
I've heard so
And
many people say that it's absolutely an incredible game.
it is. It really is. Like, I don't. Do they have it for PC? Or do they have it
Not
for the Master Race there for you?
not yet. I'm kind of behind the curve on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, sucks to be you, my friend. Sucks to be you.
Sure does.
So a little bit of comic book stuff to talk about.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna kind of mix mine and Triple B's thing together here because I'm gonna talk about an indie comic book that just came out called Wolverton, Thief of Impossible Objects. This is a story. This is a book that I was really looking forward to picking up, and I was able to meet the author, one of the authors at Dragon Con.
Mhm.
Sold me one of the books, signed them, and then gave me the second one to the series for free. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So the writers are Michael Stark and Terrell T. Garrett. So basically, the idea of it is that Wolverton is a gentleman thief, right? And his whole thing is that he goes out and steals like mystical artifacts or like any kind of occult artifacts, anything that's got some kind of magical properties or supposedly supposed to have some kind of magical properties. That's what he does, but he absolutely hates magic. So it kind of it's kind of like a
I already like this
little
character.
spin off there. Yeah, it's actually relatively funny. His character is called his thief name is the Black Cat, you know,
Yeah.
and so his last name is Wolverton. And like I said, he's a rich get about. It takes place in like the 19, I want to say 1930s or 40s. I'd have to double check that, but the it's a little bit either before or during the World War II, so
Okay.
somewhere in that area. But I mean, just the art style. Well, it's two different artists for the two books, but the art styles were really spot on. Just beautifully well written. I think you can still get them online. Um, let's see. I don't know. It's something that if you're interested in looking up, you should go to your local comic book store and see if they can get it for you through Diamond. But I really enjoyed the first book. Just an interesting kind of Indiana Jones feel to it. Kind of Indiana Jones meets Bruce Wayne. you know. Um, just I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I
Um,
I always like those, like the thief games and basically any game where you
mhm,
can sneak around and take everything from every single level. Fallout, yeah, Fallout has taken me years to play Fallout 4 just because I have to
mhm,
collect every single can and
yeah.
piece of scrap metal from every single location, which takes an incredible amount of time.
Well, it was already bad enough when I was playing the Elder Scroll games,
Yeah,
when a lot of the stuff that you picked up didn't do anything for you or didn't help at all.
yeah.
But then when you get into Fallout 4, where you can use all that stuff to build stuff and create outposts and all that kind of stuff, oh, it just became absolutely horrible. Like I mean not in a bad way, but to the point where I stopped playing the game for any other reason than to just go just steal everything possible or take everything possible. Like go build outposts and upgrade weapons and armor and stuff like that. Like
Vault
it wasn't
Dweller,
even.
the Minutemen need your
Yeah.
help. No, 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 Preston.
No, no,
No,
no.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. I gotta build a new
Yeah.
house. You don't understand.
Is
Don't
that
I?
Is that a stack of newspapers over there? Can I have that?
I can scrap that,
it's
and
like,
then I can finish this concrete block.
what were you gonna do with those cans you have over there? Was there a plan for those, or can I have those? Can I? You just walk around as like one of those memes the whole time, like, can I has, can I has this? Can I has that?
I'm just gonna take it, or else you're gonna get a junk jet to the face.
Pretty much, like you're gonna die if you try to stop me. So,
There is no
but
stealing in Fallout 4.
exactly, you
It's all
just
mine.
take. Although those other friggin' players though, every time somebody would attack one of your outposts, you had to like hide your power armor, at the top of a building and get rid of the stairs and stuff like that. Otherwise, they would take your power armor, they would use its battery up, and then leave it somewhere.
Oh yeah, they
I
just
cannot tell
ditch it.
you. I swear I found one. It had to be. I don't know if it really was, but it had to be like 2 miles away from the outpost that I had it in originally. Just sitting there, like in the middle of the woods. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Preston, you dick. Like. Anyway,
Jerk.
this is why we can't have nice things, because you guys keep leaving them in the forest for
I
the
would
freaking
always,
mutants and everything like
I
that
would always
to play
wall them
with.
in. That way they couldn't take them.
Yeah, well, I would put them at the tippy top of one of my biggest bases, and I would just take away any ability to get up there.
Yeah.
So I had to but then it was a huge pain in the ass, because then I had to go build stairs every time I wanted to go get my damn power armor. It was like playing Fortnite, but in Fallout 4. I was like, oh,
Fallout
gotta get my power.
Fortnite.
Fallout Night.
Fort,
Fallout for 4 nights.
Yeah, it's there somewhere. There's something there.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah.
We'll work on it after the podcast. Just
Yeah.
sit down like with some
Brainstorming.
pens
All
and
right, we got to
papers
come
and
up with a
just
name.
let's
Fallout Night.
combine. When these two games combined,
This will be the next hit game.
I'm telling you. Another big video game thing for me. Final Fantasy VIII is finally back out. They've got it for the Switch. It just came out. I'm gonna buy it next paycheck. I cannot wait. This is the first time that it's been available like this since basically it came out originally.
Since basically.
I told you the story about that, right? How
Yeah.
I think I talked about on the podcast here how they had lost a lot of the data and yada yada yada. So finally, it's out. It looks really good. They did a great job of updating some of the graphics and stuff, and I cannot wait. I loved that game back in the day, and now it's like I was just talking to Foxtail. They've got it now where we're in the handheld versions, right? Using like my DS, my 3DS, and the Switch. I can now play Final Fantasy 1 through 10. 11 was an online game, although you probably play the online one too, and 12 right now, all handheld.
Oh wow.
That's freaking crazy. I love it. I absolutely love it, because those kind of games I like to just sit there sometimes and just mindlessly, like while I'm watching a show or doing something else, just mindlessly grind the monsters,
Mm-hmm.
grind on the monsters. No, I'm sorry,
No,
grind
that's okay too.
to
That's allowed.
power up.
That's allowed. It didn't
But
really strike me
anyways,
though that fantasy was final. I mean,
I know
after the
it's
first one,
for
it's
yeah, because they're like number 32, right? So
if
how final is this
Jesus.
fantasy? Like this is the
It's the
this is the
longest
worst ending of
fantasy
a fantasy
ever.
ever.
Just keeps.
It's the never-ending story, but for fantasy games.
Oh, can we stop with the damn never-ending story horse memes?
No,
I'm having a
no,
great day, everything's fine, and I'm scrolling
no.
through my Facebook news feed. And there he is. That
A
somebody
giant!
did this cosplay of a horse head, and they covered
Yes,
themselves in mud just as
yes,
Atreyu. And I'm like, I was having a great
yes.
day, and then I saw that, and now I'm just sitting
And
here
then they put the
feeling
horse head on the
emotional.
ground, so it looks like the horse is
Yeah,
sunk into the ground. I
like
love it. I've
almost
seen
all
like
the
three
way.
of those. Each one's perfect. But speaking of that, so we went to this 80. First off, can I just stop for a second? On a real note, I am so sad that you and your fiance were not able to come to Dragon Con this year, but I cannot wait till we can all go next year,
As
because
long as we all go next year, it'll all be worth it.
you were deeply missed. You guys were deeply missed this year. So that's my side note, a little tear jerking moment. But we went to an 80s
But
after
good
party, right?
news, everything looks like it's going to turn out okay with what was going on.
Good.
So, yeah, I guess, yeah.
So the sex change operation was complete, and you will now be known as Feltina. Understood.
Yeah, I mean, I got
So
such big man boobs anyway, so I don't even need that.
yeah, I mean, might as well just got them shaved and everything, get the hormones going. So
Oh,
so we went to an '80s after party, right? And there's a lot of like Stranger Things there, which was great. But the big one this year, the big couples cosplay that I saw was Dustin and his girlfriend. In her little like sleeping gown,
yeah.
right? From holding the CB radio so they could sing the Never Ending Story. But the best one, the one that won the whole thing for me, was one with Dustin and his girlfriend walking around. She's wearing her sleeping gown, right? But they had a giant stuffed Falcor dragon wrapped around the both of them, and I was like, "You guys just won! You guys just won Dragon Con. Good job!
You
It was
won
fantastic."
I won the random guy in the elevator award for best Rick last year,
Yes.
right? Did you know that?
Yeah, you told me about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I
It's
still
the best Rick. You made the best Rick.
Yeah, dude, I still like that. That still warms my heart that I won that award. I mean, oof. Ugh.
You know what the saddest part was this year, actually, is that both Foxtail and I had Ghostbuster cosplays.
Ugh.
And we totally wanted to walk in the parade with you guys. We wanted to do the Ghostbuster parade.
Again,
But
next
that's
year.
enough sadness. It's enough sadness. I'm actually planning on getting a better Ghostbusters outfit for next year.
Oh
So
God, let me
we're
know
gonna move.
because like we literally
Oh yeah.
built 3 of these things. So
Oh yeah, I need a proton pack. D was a Harley Quinn mashup with Ghostbusters, right? So she had a blow up proton pack, and it fit perfectly. It was hilarious because it's Harley Quinn as a Ghostbuster. Of course, she's gonna have a blow up inflatable proton pack, right?
we
Like,
need to
why
we
would she
need
have a
to
regular one?
we need to make her like a Harley Quinn mallet that
Mm-hmm.
is like Ghostbuster theme, so it has like ghost
Mm-hmm.
catching equipment built into it.
Attached to it.
So
Mm-hmm.
like the
That would be
the
cool.
one of the faces of the mallet will actually be the ghost trap, so she can like
Mm-hmm.
swing it down on a ghost and catch it in the ghost trap.
The other side could be a splattered Slimer.
Yeah, yeah. She just
It just
mashed it.
yeah. So that'd be great. All right. So I don't remember who rolled last time. So I'm gonna say it was me. I think it was me. So we'll have you roll this time. Your D20.
Okay.
Do you have a D20 available, or do you
I'm,
want me to roll for you?
you know what? I can go to d20.com.
D20.com.
I'm gonna roll the dice and boom, 19.
19. So nothing happens. Because we don't have Triple B here to weigh in. So I don't know what to him today, but he should be with us hopefully. Well, maybe not next podcast, but the podcast after that. We do have a couple of podcasts to get up that obviously we didn't get up during the hurricane and stuff. There's a lot going on.
I got a good
So
excuse
you guys,
this time.
yeah. So you guys are probably going to get a decent amount of podcasts this week. Probably what, 4?
Yeah, I can throw them all
Right?
up this week. Yeah.
We have 15 and 16. We're recording 17 now, and 18 later. Definitely not right after this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you guys will probably have 4 podcasts that you can listen to this week. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But for now, we're going to go ahead and shut this one down. I'm the Merce.
It's me, Felton.
Oh my God, that was creepy. I'll catch you guys on the next one.